Hi guys. I hope you can hear me. I don't have my microphone on today. How are you, my crochet friends? Been a while. I know. I've been mopey. Sometimes it's the only way I can describe the depression that I go through. It's just I'm absolutely miserable, and all I do is just mope around the house, you know. I don't know why I'm miserable. I don't know. I never know why. I mean, short of cracking open my brain and getting in there and figuring out what's going on, I have no idea why I get the way I do. I could guess, but that's not what all this is about. So, hi. I am going to try to get back to making videos. Allergy season. So today is May 19th, 2026. My wedding anniversary. So my husband is the romantic, sentimental type. So I bought him some flowers. Hold on. I bought him some spring flowers with some roses in there. And of course, Bandit loves to get in there and chew on them long before my husband gets home from work. So Bandit and I have been fighting just a little bit today. And I don't want him to ruin the flowers. There are some purple ones in there, some yellow ones in there. He's like, you already broke one of the purple ones? Huh. Look how cute that is. I'll get my face out of the way. Huh? So, wedding anniversary. Husband and I have been married 24 years in 2002. We don't have anything planned because it's Tuesday. So I always buy him flowers, put them on his desk, and say happy anniversary when he comes home from work. So, and also last week, our oldest child had a birthday. They turned 23. So now the kids are 23, 21, and 19. I've got 2 in college, 1 that's moved out. I mean, what am I supposed to do with myself these days? I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why I'm mopey. I think it's partly because the kids don't need me as much anymore. So, I mean, I'm going to have to deal with it. And I'm going to have to do some talk therapy. And talk through it with somebody who maybe is not my husband. Because while he understands, he doesn't completely get it. I don't know, maybe you guys do. Have you guys been there? Have you been a stay-at-home mom for more than 20 years, and then now the kids are older, full-fledged adults, but still, young adults, I guess. What do you guys do with your time now, and how did you handle the transition of not being the stay-at-home mom anymore to whatever you're doing now? And please, let me know what you guys are doing now, because I have no idea what to do with myself. So, I was out at the thrift store yesterday. The closest one to my house is... I always want to get the names mixed up, because I go to 4 different stores. Good Stuff Thrift, 2nd Avenue Thrift, Salvation Army, and Goodwill. So, Good Stuff Thrift is the one that's closest to my house. And I stopped in because I'm looking for stuff for my kitchen. I'm looking for a little, a syrup dispenser, you know, like when you used to go to IHOP or Denny's or to a diner for breakfast, and they put syrup on the table, and it was in a little glass jar with a handle, and so you can pour it. I'm looking for one of them for my kitchen, and I figure the thrift store is the best place to go. I mean, other than eBay, sure, that makes it a little too easy sometimes. So I'm looking for a little syrup dispenser. The kids and I have started a little salt and pepper shaker collection that we're building up in our kitchen. We've got frogs, we've got dogs, a cat. I just recently found a little polar bear. If you guys want to see the start of our salt and pepper shaker collection, let me know, because I think it's kind of cute. So I was just looking for a few things for the kitchen. I'm always looking for vintage Tupperware. I'm looking for the rolling pin from Tupperware that had the cap on the end. You can take the cap off and put cold water in, or put ice cubes in, so you can do homemade pie crust. I'm looking for one of them. So it's just a few things I was looking for, but I always go in all the thrift stores. They always have a little craft section where you'll find knitting needles, sewing patterns. You'll find some fabric, and I found some yarn. And wow, at Good Stuff Thrift yesterday, they had a lot of yarn. They had a whole bin full of Red Heart Super Saver, which I don't need. They had 2 shades of green, and I want to, there was some other color, I can't remember what it was. And then they had a bin full of Stylecraft yarn from over in the UK. They had a bin full of that. Although if you ask me, I think the thrift store was asking too much money for yarn. And then they had some variegated that I had actually picked up, so I'm going to show you that. Okay. And I think that I showed some really good restraint yesterday, because they had 6 skeins of this vintage yarn, and I only bought 3. I left the other 3 in the store, because you guys know I feel like I have a massive yarn stash. So like I feel like I've got too much. So this is Red Heart Soft. It is a worsted weight. Okay, so it's a number 4. But look at that label. Okay. And then this is how they used to do dye lots back in the day. They put a little stamp on there. So that's, you can also figure out like how old it is by those stamps like that for the dye lot. I can't quite tell what color it is. Oh, the color is spring. It's covered up with the label on there. So the thrift store was asking $2.99 for it. And I didn't mind spending $2.99 a skein, because, you know, I know Red Heart has a color that's very similar to this in their lineup today, but it's vintage, and I love finding vintage variegated yarn in the thrift stores, and I will buy it almost every time. So I think I did really good. There were 6. I bought 3. So Red Heart Soft, the color is spring. It is 4 ounces, 113 grams. So they didn't put meters or yards on this label, so I don't know how many meters or how many yards. Just that it's 4 ounces and 113 grams. Because while they do have it in English, pretty sure that's French, and that looks like Spanish. Yeah, no yardage or meters. So anyway, I plan on having some fun with the Red Heart Soft. And you know, the funny thing is, I checked each of them. All 6 of them were the same dye lot. And the only time I ever see people buy enough of one dye lot is usually the older ladies, the grandma types, the ladies who are 60, 65, 70. They're the only ones that actually buy enough. Because like when I buy brand new yarn, I buy 1 or 2 skeins. I never buy enough for a project. So my dye lots are always all over the place. Until the last couple of years. So I've got some vintage yarn. And it makes me happy because it's vintage variegated. So yes, I'm going to make some squares. Put them in my Patchwork Squares blanket. Which I think that is going to be the next project that we're going to do. I think we're going to go dig out all the patchwork squares and finally put them together. Okay, so this yarn has got me inspired. I want to grab my hook. I want to sit down and work with it and use it and make a pretty little blanket out of it. It's still Red Heart. And it's called Red Heart Soft Baby. Check out that label. Soft Baby. The color is called Light Teal Twinkle. Let's see if I find it not covered up by the price tag. Here we go. Light Teal Twinkle. Look at the little ducks on the label. Alright, so it is a sport weight, which is a number 3. I don't know if I ever told you guys, way back in the day when I was trying to do blogging with writing down words about crocheting, and I was in a whole bunch of Facebook groups, there had been a question posed to the group about a number 3 light yarn and what it used to be called, and I had said it used to be called sport weight. And boy, did I have somebody who went on a rant about it and said, it's not sport weight, it's number 3, it's a light DK, and on and on and on, and how a sport weight is a number 2. And I'm like, I was going through and I'm like, I'm pretty sure sport weight used to be a number 3 back in the day. And sure enough, when I find old school Red Heart, it'll say sport weight, it'll say 3-ply, so it's a number 3. Which now has been relabeled as light worsted or DK weight, and DK meaning double knit. So I don't know, that for some reason that story stuck in my head. So with this color and this yarn, they had 9 skeins of it. I only bought 4. It was tempting to buy 5. I only bought 4. There we go. I figured 4 is enough to make a baby blanket, right? I didn't need all 9 of them. I may have wanted all 9, but I didn't need all 9, right? So, it is 100% acrylic? No, it's 67% acrylic and 33% nylon. So let's see if my camera can pick this up, because it's got some marled look to it where it's like 2 strands that are twisted together and 1 strand will be a different color. Or you can call it speckled, where that second strand has dots and spots of color. So it's got some yellow, some pink, I think a fair amount of white, and it looks like a little bit of a blue or a purple. Okay, let's see if see if my camera can pick that up. So you see that? So I am actually feeling very inspired to pick up my crochet hook and work on something. Look at the way it comes out. Okay, yeah, it's an easy start and easy pull, but look at this. It's all bunched up. So, you know, this should be cut out. You can't use that. I can straighten it out, but I would pull it out a little bit and find a really good start and get rid of all the twisty ends that had just popped out at me. So let's see. 6 ounces. I'd say what, 500 yards maybe? I don't know. I would have to guess on the yardage. I would have to find a conversion chart to help me figure out how many yards. Because it turns out I have been teaching myself to switch over from thinking of this as 6 ounces of yarn to thinking of it as in 100 yards or 500 meters. I have been trying to change the way I view it to make sure that I've got enough for a project. So it's so funny how these older labels will just say grams and ounces but not yards and meters. So light teal twinkle. So, do you guys have any of this Red Heart Soft Baby in your stash? Do you have the same color, or did it come in other colors? Did it come in like a purple or a yellow or a pink or a green? Can you guys check your stash and let me know in the off chance that when I'm working with this that I don't have enough for whatever project I come up with? And see, that's another thing. I want to work with this. I want to make something with this now. I don't want to just throw it in my yarn stash. So, hook size, I'm thinking I would like to use, because it feels a bit thinner for me, because I'm a number 4 medium worsted weight kind of yarn person. A G and an H would be too big. I'm thinking an E or an F is what I would use. So a 3mm, 3.5mm. I don't know, where's my, I don't have my hooks with me. Oh no. Yeah, alright, so I have an F sitting here. It says a 3.75mm. So I'm thinking a smaller hook. And I would thinking baby blanket. But I'm also thinking just something simple. So I'm not necessarily looking for a pattern, but just a combination of simple stitches. I don't want to do single crochet. I actually just did that recently for my kids' blanket. Double crochet. I was thinking, I think the combination has a lot of different names. I think some people call it a lemon peel. Some people call it sedge. It's a lot of different names where you do a single crochet and then the next stitch you do a double and then you do a single then a double, because when you do that double in between two singles, it will pull the double down and give it a little bit of a bump, so it'll give it a little bit of texture. But it's a very simple repeat: single double, single double, single double. You end on a double and then you chain one, and when you turn you go single double. So your single will be in the double will be in the single, I think. So I was just thinking something simple, something that I don't have to think about. Now, the only thing I would have to think about is the starting chain, just to make sure I've got it at a right size. So I would have to go look at Pinterest or some of my notes somewhere on a good size for a baby blanket. What, 30 inches, 40 inches? I'm not sure. But that's what I want to do. I want to sit like the variegated. I am going to put this in my stash, and I'll use it when it's time to start putting my patchwork squares blanket together. I think I got overwhelmed. I really do think that sometimes you can be your own worst enemy and you sabotage yourself. I am pretty sure that I burned myself out on patchwork squares. And I had nothing left in my gas tank. I was completely empty, and I think that's why I couldn't finish it. Because we did that all in, 2024? And I practically took 2025 off, and here we are, almost halfway through 2026. And I'm just now thinking about getting back to crocheting. It's been quite a year for me. I think I suffer from burnout, I so much, and they keep going and going and going and going until I crash. So what do you guys think of the yarn? It's cute, right? Do you have any of it in your stash? What are you guys working on? How's life been for you? Is it okay? Hopefully I'm fine. Oh, don't mind all the stuff in the back. I'm working on the house. That's my computer sitting there, bookshelves that I've been cleaning off, my couch with all the pillows. Support, yeah, I think I'm actually just going to grab my hook and sit down and just play until I come across something that I actually want to do. So what do I say now? How do I end that? Ooh, it was so funny. I just got a Hirschner's catalog in the mail today. Hirschner's, right? They do have Hirschner's Sweet Swirls yarn, and I kind of like it because it does have that swirly marl effect. But I don't know if the colors would match well with what I've got here, because this is a very distinct colorway. I don't know. Just in case I need some yarn to round this out a little bit, in case it's not enough. I mean, I know I can always just find a satiny, shiny white that would probably go well with this, and I just might do that. It would be fun if I can go up to my yarn stash and take a look and see what I've got, but I have no desire to go to my yarn stash right now, because when I look at it, I'm very embarrassed about what it looks like right now, and maybe I'll show you guys. I'm not sure. Things went really bad for me in 2025. Things went kind of crazy. So, alright, let me go take a picture of my yarn. I can use it for a thumbnail, get you guys to watch the video, right? Hopefully we can, I keep saying we in the collective because I'm talking to you guys, and I feel like you guys are very much a part of me, so I say we a lot, but I mean me. Maybe I can get back to it. Maybe I'm finally coming out of the depression and the moodiness and the miserableness. Hopefully I'm finally coming out of it. I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I practice. I gotta practice. All right. You guys know how much I do love you. I have not forgotten about you, and I thank you all for still being here through all of it. So thank you guys very much. Leave any of your suggestions down below in the comments, okay? And I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully that will be soon. So, oh yeah, so get all your patchwork squares together, all right? Get them all together, and then we will plan on putting them, stitching them up and making blankets out of them. All the things, okay? We're going to do all the things with our patchwork squares, okay? Love you guys. Bye.